Hello everyone, I'm Ken from the Glorious Geeks, and today I'd like to talk to you about Aether Studios and their Kickstarter Eggnog and Brains. Without further ado, let's get into it. The first part of this Kickstarter is the Fleet of Insanity. Part of the fleet are these individual shuttles that Aether Studios designed to work with not only the miniatures that they did with the set, but also WizKids miniatures, which is super awesome because I myself own a crap ton of them. But it's so smooth, you can move them around on the battlefield, and you can launch them from the larger ships that are part of the series, and they hold the miniatures so well. The next ship as part of the Fleet of Insanity is the Cuddle Shuttle. It is absolutely amazing. It is monstrous. It is got to be close to 14 inches long, and you could put a dozen miniatures up on here as like an individual cruiser just going through wild space. And if your players run into them, hey, look out. And you can use the Cuddle Shuttles to disembark and continue on with the fight. The next ship that is part of Eggnog and Brains Kickstarter by Aether Studios is the Dreadnought. Also part of the Fleet of Insanity. It is absolutely amazing to see that you not only can use the top as a functional ship as your players traverse the wild space and come up against the Illithid, but you can also use the playable interior for reserves of the Illithid on the ship. But not only that, if you want to disembark with the ship and have the Illithid leave the ship, you can use the other unplayable interior space to store the shuttles. You fit up to, it looks like about 4 of them in there. So it's actually quite convenient and very nice. Put it all together and it sits on there quite nicely. And that's the Dreadnought. So the next part of the Eggnog and Brains Kickstarter are technically part of another ship. But I wanted to point out before I put the ship out there is that these are just standard tentacle bases. You could use these for a monster encounter, Kraken, giant squid, which is a Kraken, out in the middle of wild space or out in the middle of the ocean. It's just simply well designed by Aether Studios. But without further ado, their next ship is absolutely massive, and it has so many alternate pieces you could put into it that you could print 2 or 3 ships and not have the same ship at all. But without further ado, here's the Nautiloid that is by Aether Studios for Eggnog and Brains Kickstarter. Absolutely behemoth. This thing is crazy awesome. The tentacles, like I said, go right on for the base. It's simply modular, but not only is it a spaceship, and it's got a deck that you can play your miniatures on. They can come out here and do their thing, fire off their spells, and all sorts of different things. But they took it a step further, and they made it modular. I mean, they made it to where you can put miniatures inside of it and play on each deck of the bridge. If your players need to rescue, somebody that's been captured by the mindflayer fleet, it is just incredible. Look at how detailed they did this. There are also spaces in here, like for the back, for LEDs. It's absolutely amazing. Here's another. It's the back side of the bridge. It goes all the way up into here. You could put smaller of the smaller ships inside of here, so that when your monsters, your Illithid, your mindflayers launch their fleet, you can actually just have them come out of the ship, and it's just incredible. You just gotta get them to sit right. There we go. It's incredible. And not only that, but there's a final deck that you could put even more spaceships that are also part of this Kickstarter into there, so that when the fleet launches against your players, it is just overwhelming. It just shocks them. It's incredibly big. And here it is, the entire fleet of insanity, from the shuttles to the Cuddle Shuttle, which is over here on the right, to the Dreadnought that is here on the left, and then finally the Nautiloid, which is a separate set of files but also free as part of the Kickstarter Eggnog and Brains by Aether Studios. They did a fantastic job on this. I am flabbergasted by how giant this Nautiloid is. I cannot wait to throw this to my players. And until next time, be glorious.